Hello everyone, my name is Kar Mugilan. I'm from Tutorial Group 3 and I'm going to interview someone on intercultural relationships. Now I am going to interview Ganesh who has spent 18 months in the UK. How did you feel about meeting members of other culture for the first time?
Well, if you talk about meeting people for the first time in your lives, it's first thing you've got to keep an open mind. You've got to accept cultures. You've got to realize that you have like millions of different subcultures all around the world. So you've got to have that sort of acceptance that these kind of people do exist, and you do get opportunities like maybe once in a lifetime or so to meet them. So you've got to be open to that, and when you're open to that, meeting them will be easy. So
What information best prepared you and where did you get it from?
information regarding meeting with people. So like what I said, when you accept, like when you have this kind of a realization that there's a lot of different cultures in the world, you've got to be open. So when you go meet these people, you don't have any sort of expectations or whatnot. So you just go talk to them, just make friends with them, just be friendly, be yourself, and see how they react to what's your actions and whatnot, and adapt accordingly. So like what the saying says, that when you're in Rome, do as the Romans do. So just go, adapt to what they do, and if you can't, and if it has to be some sort of a textbook style of interacting, then of course Google is there and TripAdvisor and whatnot. So yeah,
Thank
do
you.
depend on this, yeah.
Thank you. Before you met members of that culture, what did you expect them to be like?
Well, I was in the UK for almost 18 months, that's a year and a half. So obviously, when I was back here, when I was in Malaysia itself, I've heard a lot about the European culture and whatnot. And obviously, even the old people around here, they try to compare the Western culture compared to ours and how they are very much more open and whatnot. So probably because of this kind of this kind of conversations I had when I was younger, those kinds of thoughts were instilled into my head. And of course, obviously, I had like a thought that they would be very open. So I expected them to be very open, and I actually try to adapt myself again based on your second question previously. So yeah, I just expected them to be open, and I try to be as open as I can. Try not to act too weird to whatever they may do there, and we do not do their practice here. So yeah, expected them to be open.
Did you encounter any surprises when you began interacting with members of this culture?
Well, apart from the country being really white, the language was indeed sort of a surprise to me, because England as a whole, it's obviously consists of a lot of different places joined together. And so when I was in the UK, I started off working in the south side of it, where it's called Brighton, towards the south side of England. And there they have people who speak in a very slow and monotonous kind of a fashion. So you wouldn't really understand them at first go. So you probably want them to repeat whatever they said, and then you might get it if you're lucky. That's one. And if you go right down to the center of England, which is London, and you speak to the people there, it's a pleasure to listen to them speak English, because they're so crystal clear. And when you go a little more up north, like where Newcastle and whatnot is, they are so influenced by the Scottish culture. So you know Scottish people and how heavy the accents are. So it's a real uphill task to actually getting to trying to understand the accent they speak. So this sort of multi-accented culture was kind of surprised me.
Thank you very much for your time today,
No worries.
and thank you guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Bye.